If you will join me in standing, please, for the invocation as we invoke blessings upon this memorial service and our time together. Dear and most gracious Heavenly Father, it is in your precious name, the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, that we come for this time, for this occasion. We are so very grateful that we have the opportunity to be here to memorialize the life of one of our greatest Americans and citizens of this community, William C. Boehm. Now we ask that this time might be blessed, that our time together, every song, every statement, every comment, every presentation, everything that is presented here today, we pray that it shall be honored by you, approved by you. We thank you for it once again. We pray blessings upon this congregation, upon the singing angels, the staff, and all of those who put this time together. And we just pray that they shall be blessed in doing so. And we just pray that you would grant us your blessing, grant us your peace, and your divine favor. May it be upon us. And we ask these things in your precious name. Amen. You might be seated. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Jim Ballagher was going to be here today to read the life story that he wrote and put together of Bill Boehm. He, unfortunately, on the 4th of July, fell and cracked a few ribs. So he is, I just talked to him on the phone yesterday. He's home from the hospital. There's really not much you can do for that, except to just let it heal. But he sent me these words about Mr. Boehm's history, and of course I'm honored to read them. William C. Boehm, Bill Boehm, Mr. Boehm, Bill. We all know him by different salutations, but perhaps the most frequently used was Mr. Boehm. Mr. Boehm was born on July 26, 1920, almost 97 years ago now. He was born in Cleveland as one of 6 children, with 2 brothers and 3 sisters. His dad was an accountant with Sheets Elevator and spent every free hour he had supporting his passion for baseball. The backyard of his home was totally fenced in and was converted into a baseball field, backstop and all. He actually started sandlot baseball in Cleveland and constantly drove his sons to work hard and do it well, using the medium of baseball as his vehicle for teaching. But when Bill Boehm didn't field the ball very well, or didn't run as fast as he could, his dad would repeatedly call him a blockhead. Those are alumni laughing because you've been called that. Certainly, that was a word of endearment. Mr. Boehm attended John Adams High School and Western Reserve University, where he graduated in 1938 with a Bachelor of Arts degree. All through high school and college, he was focused on a career in singing in the theater. World War II interrupted, causing him to put his career pursuit on hold in order to serve his country as an Army captain for the 29th Infantry Regiment in Europe. Very few people know that he returned to Case Western Reserve some 20 years later to earn a master's degree in dramatic arts. And it was during that time that he studied the context and nature of the Broadway show. This would ultimately give him the idea for the Singing Angels. After the war was over, when he returned to Northeast Ohio stages, he performed frequently at Kane Park and Herman Perchner's Alpine Village and Music Carnival in Warrensville Heights. All of these experiences also helped him coming up with his vision of the Singing Angels. Then in 1964, the moment arrived. He decided to start a youth choral group. The singing angels, as they were to be named, would represent young singers of all races, creeds, religions, and economic backgrounds in Northeast Ohio. Bill was intent on improving the music that young people would sing. That music would include, and I quote, "whatever would bring them joy, bring them together, and help them understand and appreciate all things, patriotic things." The joy of singing good music amongst children of all backgrounds. That year, Bill posted an audition call for a children's Christmas concert to be held at Severance Hall. Those charter members were not required to read music, but they had to carry a tune, and as his dad had always told him, they had to work hard and do it well. Some 80 young girls and boys absolutely delighted the audience that afternoon with their special brand of youthful charm and disciplined stage presence, and the rest is history. Over the last 50 years, the Singing Angels have become a highly successful nonprofit organization with the mission to engage youth from all communities in quality music and performing arts education that teaches teamwork, builds confidence, and provides a foundation for life. Truly an international choral legend. Bill Boehm has left us all with an amazing legacy. Not only his music, but also his love and devotion to children. We will never forget his passion for making music, making friends, and making a difference. Thank you.
Being a bishop, I'm used to not following the program and interrupting where I can. I was asked to give comments, and I don't have Alzheimer's, but I do have Sometimers. And so I just refused to go to my seat before I took the opportunity to say something about Bill, because I would not be able to sleep tonight had I not. And there was a story of a gentleman, an older gentleman, a very old gentleman, who went to heaven. And he was met at the gates by St. Peter. And St. Peter refused to let him in because he had nothing to say about the good works that he had done. And St. Peter asked him, "You mean you have not helped anyone, have not lifted anyone, have not encouraged anyone?" And Peter gave him a list of all kind of opportunities to present a yes, I did that, but it never got around to that. And St. Peter said, "Well, you better think very hard. Come up with something that you have done that will justify your coming into the gates of heaven." He thought, oh yes, there is something. There was a little old lady at the grocery store, and a big man pushed her buggy out of the way and knocked her down. And I rushed over and helped her up. And I stood up to this big man and said, you better never, ever do that again. St. Peter said, yes, that's good. That's what I'm talking about. Now, when did you do that? He said, oh, about 10 minutes ago. My point is this, that Bill didn't wait until his last years to do good. He started 50 years ago or more. And I am so blessed to have been a part of, and still a part of, this group called the Singing Angels. It's one of my badge of honors in my life. I remember when Bill was starting the Singing Angels, and he was on the search for a trainer, a director for the group. And evidently, he went to the Board of Education, and the Board of Education led him to the music supervisor. And he inquired as to where he could find a director for the Singing Angels, someone that would do justice to what his vision and his heart was. Somehow, he received the name of Luther Blackwell, who was a music teacher at Alexander Hamilton High School on Cleveland's east side, and he called me and sat me down and said, would you? I thought I was very honored to have been asked, and so I arranged my schedule so that I could meet with the Singing Angels every Saturday. And had years of great pleasure. And because of Bill Boehm, my life has been more enriched. I have met some of the finest people that I could ever meet. And it's all because of William C. Boehm. The last time I was in concert with him, I believe, Cleveland Music Hall or somewhere, I was there in attendance. And I led my iconic song, Ain't That Good News? And Bill came up to me and said, Luther, what happened to your hair? Thank you, Bill, for that compliment. I appreciate it. But I enjoyed the likes of and the company of the association with Bill Boehm. I'm going to close. I believe he does have a home in that kingdom. And I believe that is good news. Thank you.
If you were at our recent spring benefit concert, you heard this next selection. If you were not, listen closely to the lyrics. Imagine a world without Bill Boehm. Imagine a world where there was no music. And imagine the joy you don't have to imagine. And think about the joy that we all have discovered because of what he did and because of what he dreamed. We sing for you the awakening. in preparation for this day, we have received a number of letters and proclamations from civic officials, and we are thrilled to ask 3 of our alumni, not just from civic officials, you'll hear some of them are from Angels people too. We're thrilled to have 3 of our alumni to come up on stage to read from those for you right now. This is Sue St. John and Lisa Wright and Gerard Masala.
Hello, what a wonderful, wonderful day it is today to celebrate the life of Mr. Boehm. Just wonderful. It's wonderful to see everybody here. This first one is a letter from the Rotary Club of Cleveland. Mr. Boehm was a past president of the Rotary Club of Cleveland. He was greatly treasured and admired by all of his fellow Rotarians. This part won't surprise you. Mr. Boehm led our singers' table every Thursday for many years. The individuals from the singers' table today contributed money to the Singing Angels in Mr. Boehm's memory. Thank you for continuing Bill's legacy, as he was a tremendous man. That's from the Rotary Club of Cleveland. Thank you to them. This one is from Tom Neal. He was a barbershop conductor at the very beginning of our years, in case some people don't know. This is a letter from him. Bill Boehm was really one of a kind. He was a visionary and a man of incredible determination. When the Angels became reality in 1964, he suggested on many occasions that I consider directing this newly formed children's chorus. He worked on me relentlessly to teach the kids barbershop. I began singing barbershop at age 12 and learned early on that young people did not take easily to the complicated harmonies found in barbershop. Would you say the harmonies are pretty complicated? But you guys do them well. Bill told me otherwise, but I didn't buy it. These were young kids. Finally, in 1964, my quartet called the Village Idiots was performing at the Menor Yacht Club one Saturday night, and Bill was the master of ceremonies. No surprises there. After the show, Bill and I closed up the club. He persisted again in his idea of the kids singing barbershop. I continued to resist, but said I would think about it. 5 hours later, my phone rang. It was Bill. He practically ordered me to show up at 8:30 a.m. in the YWCA building in downtown Cleveland, 30 miles away from where I was. He escorted me into a room where I got a first look at the Singing Angels. I thought, these are really young kids. They sat straight in their chairs, looking bright and bushy-tailed, with beautiful smiles. You guys are always good with the beautiful smiles. Always. And youthful faces. They really got to be. I had no music with me, but I taught all my choruses by singing their parts to them, and then putting together in 4-part harmony. I rearranged them by tenor, lead, baritone, and bass, all new to them. 60 minutes later, it ended with a song we could actually sing all the way through without stopping. I was astounded. I looked over at Bill. He had a very smug, I told you so look on his face. He announced that I was to return next week, same place, same time, and the Singing Angels barbershop segment was born. It was a prime example of creating what Bill carried around in his head, in his mind, in his dreams. Bill and I became fast friends, and the rest was history. He made me do something I never thought I could. There are many thousands of those wonderful kids that learned the same lesson from great Bill Boehm, singing songs and things that they never thought they could. Bill was truly a Cleveland legend. He knew many of the rich and famous in Cleveland and did not hesitate to enlist their support for his famous Angels. Truly his greatest creation. We made it all the way to the Bob Hope NBC Christmas Show, Kraft Music Hall with Wayne Newton, the White House, National